Hello and welcome to Pointwise's Tutorial Tuesday, where we show you how to use a feature or demonstrate a technique in just a couple of minutes. Recently we hosted a webinar about meshing strategies and how they may impact solution accuracy. That link is in the description. And the geometry we discussed was a blood pump. And today we'll go into depth on how we took some of the images for that webinar. The first step is to set up the fundamental image specifications. So if we go to File, Print File Setup. The colors, you can choose a foreground and background. We recommend using a color for the foreground, transparent for the background. Then you have dots per inch, which is the resolution. We typically recommend 200. The image size, of course, you can change that however you see fit, but the one thing you want to do is make sure and toggle on the cropping guide so that you see exactly the area that's being captured in the image. So if you hit OK, the next step is then to decide the view type. So if we go to Set View Type, you can choose between orthonormal and perspective. We typically recommend perspective, as in general the image produced in that view is just more interesting looking. Next would be to manage the views. At this point you're going to manipulate the scene so that you get it such that that's the image that you want to produce whenever you create the cuts to slice through the mesh. And to save the views, you can use Alt any key 1 through 6, and that will save up to 6 views. And then of course you can use Control plus any key 1 through 6 to recall any of those views. The next thing to do is make the image more readable. You increase the line density on the domains. So if we select domains and then select all of the domains, we're going to go to Attributes, and we want to make sure that the line width is at least 2. I sometimes use 4. Again, this makes the image more readable. Update the density and hit Close. The next thing to do and final thing to do is to set up the cuts that we'll use to generate the images for our paper or presentation. So we'll select the blocks that we want to create the cuts through. If we go to Examine, in this case we're going to use Cell Type. You can change the color for the cell type here. This palette is pretty good. It produces really good images. Then we're going to go down here to Display, and we want to make sure that we choose Shaded, and then we're going to choose a shrink factor of 0.9. What this does is actually shrink the elements so that you kind of have a small gap between the elements. Again, this makes the image more readable. So if we go to Cuts, here's where you'll define the cuts. Once you define the cuts, you'll want to save them so that you can come back. And again, it's for image consistency whenever you produce more images for other parts of the paper. And to make the image more readable, before you take the picture, you want to remove the scene manipulator. Turn off the domains, connectors, and points. Control P can be used to take the actual image itself. If you like this video, be sure to click the thumbs up button and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. If you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, drop us a line below or connect with us via Twitter, which is linked in the description. Thank you all and have a pleasant Tuesday.